Today I'm going to show you how to make 4 really simple but fundamental patches on a subtractive synthesizer. So when I started producing music, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I knew I wanted to make house music, but I had no idea like how to use a synthesizer, right? It was all just this giant mess of like buttons and knobs and faders, but I had no idea what any of it did, right? So anytime I wanted a sound, I would just go preset diving and hope for the best, right? But occasionally I wanted just like a really simple sound, like a simple bass or a simple pad or a simple pluck. But because I knew nothing about synthesizers, I didn't have any friends who were into it that could show me how to do it. And like YouTube tutorials weren't a thing back then, so I had no idea how to make even a simple sound. Like I had no clue. So if you are like I was then, this video is for you. Let's get started. Let's make bass. First thing you want to do is open up a synthesizer. In this case, we're going to use Retro Synth because it's native in Logic and it's a beast and it's simple. So in the menu, come down and initialize setting. Then it should get this sound. There we go. Then what you want to do is just move this mix slider all the way to the bottom because we're just going to use oscillator 2 today. And then over here you got the semitones knob. You just want to shift that down 12 semitones because that's 1 octave. Should sound like this. There we go. Then in the filter section just in the middle here, you want to turn that on. And already the cutoff is about halfway, so it's already like a lot rounder sounding, more like a bass, right? And because of that, the volume has decreased, so you want to just up the volume a little bit. Let's just put it up to unison again, up to 0, sorry. There we go. And then you can just adjust the filter cutoff to whatever sound you want. The filter cutoff controls the brightness of the sound, so you can have it really dull, or you can have it brighter. I think about where it was pretty good. And now if you want to, you can use the sine level over here to fatten it up a little bit. But that introduces a click at the start of the sound there. So to mediate that, you can come down to the amp envelope and just put the attack where it says a little A there, just put that around 2 milliseconds-ish. And then that is gone. So the last thing you want to do, you don't have to, but I like to, is just come down to the settings, down in the bottom right here. And then where it says polyphony, just in the global section here, I like to put that on mono, because that way only one note will play at a time. So this is what we've got. And that's a pretty decent, simple bass for you. Next thing we're going to make is a pluck. So let's go initialize that again. Back to the start. Alright, so a pluck is usually a really short note. So if I hold the note like this, it plays as long as I'm holding the note, but a pluck doesn't do that. So if you look at the amp section just down here, you've got the A for attack, decay, D there, S on the bottom for sustain, and then R for release. That's your ADSR section. You might be familiar with that. So the attack, we can leave it as it is for now. And the sustain, you want to turn that all the way down. So you should get a bit of a click. And then you can adjust the decay to your taste. So right now it's a little bit short, but if we turn it up a little bit. And then we get a pluck sound. So if we just tap the note, it stops straight away. But I like to put the release up just a little bit. Maybe down a little. Okay, next thing I like to do is over here I like to adjust the shape a little bit. We can go with a sawtooth wave or maybe a square. And if you want to, you can use the filter section again to adjust the brightness. I like to. Let's try a sawtooth again. That sounds pretty good to me. If not, just a little bit long. A lot of plucks utilize the filter, and they'll utilize the envelope here as well, but I won't do that today because I'm trying to keep it super simple. So there we go. The amp, the decay is on about 370 milliseconds there, and the release is at 420. Cool. That's a nice little pluck there. Next thing I want to make is a pad. So let's initialize this again. And so you're back to the sawtooth. But a pad typically has a slightly longer attack phase, so it doesn't hit full volume straight away. So if you look at the amp section down here again, and what you want to do is just make that a little bit longer. I mean, it's up to you, like how long you want that, but there we go. That's nice and long. Maybe make the release a little bit longer as well. And then we can come up to the filter section again and just make it a little bit or slightly duller, right? So now it sounds like this. But we can brighten it up a little bit. So I just used the filter just to take the edge off. So without, obviously it's quite harsh. But I like it. If you want to get creative, you can come down to the settings here and adjust the unison. Put that on the 4 voices if you want. And adjust the detune. That sounds great. I might even save that. Let's see. Anthony Hutley. Super simple pad. Cool. Really simple pad. Alright. What have we done? We've done a bass, we've done a pluck, pad. Let's do a lead sound. So the last one. Let's initialize this again. And there you go. That's a lead sound. I'm just kidding. Alright, so a lead typically does sound a little bit brighter, right? Because you want it to cut through. This time, let's use oscillator 2. And then let's put oscillator 1 onto the white noise section. So just down the bottom here where the little squiggly line is. This is just white noise. Alright. So if you play a sawtooth and then mix a little bit of white noise in, so you can adjust this little fader here. You don't want too much, you just want it to be real subtle. It just fattens it up a little bit. And as we found with the pad, another thing you can use to fatten it up is the unison section. So let's go down and do that again. So put the unison on. 4 voices. And you can detune it a little bit more if you want to. We could make it a square lead. Or a pulse width, like just make it a little bit thinner. Another thing I like to do with lead sounds is just put it into monophonic again. So now it's in the polyphony section. I like to just put it in mono, like the same as I do with basses. All right, and there we go. That is a super simple lead. If you want to, you can add a little bit of glide as well. And we can fatten it up with a little bit of sine. If you turn the sustain down a little bit, you get a nice hard attack, like a harder attack, and then You get the initial volume from the attack phase, but the sustained volume is not quite as loud. That's a nice simple lead for you all. Alright gang, well that is how to make 4 super simple sounds, which in my opinion are fundamental for any producer to learn. You got to know how to do them. I didn't, but hopefully now you know how to. So those sounds will work on any synthesizer with subtractive synthesis capabilities. So like most soft synths these days, like I use Pigments and Vital and Silent and Hive. I don't have Serum and I don't have Diva. But if you want me to replicate those again on another synthesizer, let us know in the comments, because I can do that for you. Anyway, look, if you're still here, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll chuck a free download link in my Patreon for you, so you can go get them if you can't be asked to make those particular sounds. But you should, though, because it's good to know how to do them. Alright, if you're still here, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Peace.